you have personal conversations, please take them outside. Also, if you have cell phones, please put them on silent during today's meeting. Clerk, board, please call roll.
Mr. Rowland?
Present.
Mr. Ross?
Present.
Mr. Wilcox?
Commissioner Wilcox is absent today. He had previous plans that predated his appointment to board. So I have a chance to meet him there in the near future. With a quorum present, I call to order this meeting of the Elbert County Board of County Commissioners. Convening this 31st day of August 2016 at 9:02 a.m. Pastor Roger Miller will lead us in a invocation. And Mr. Turner, are you here? Oh, somewhere over there. Mr. Draper, will you lead us in invocation?
Almighty God, thank you for such a wonderful day. And Lord, may everything be done in a decent and orderly manner. May we display love and honor and respect for one another as your work is done this day. These things we ask in Christ's name. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. We will begin with a motion to accept the agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the agenda as presented.
Second? Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. We have a consent agenda, consists of matters that occur in the normal, I'm sorry. Oh, I apologize. Is there any correspondence? Okay, moving on. Can I have a motion with respect to the consent agenda?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the consent agenda as presented.
Second, I want to confirm a couple of things because I did not get the reprint of the agenda. We made a couple changes with regard to item O.
Yes.
Is yours marked up or is this?
That's marked up, not the front. Here, here.
Okay. Could I see it fresh again? Did you reprint after we had our meeting the other day? Okay. Everything in order. Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Consent agenda is passed as presented. Any awards and recognition today? It's going to be a really quick meeting, folks. Elected officials, department heads, and staff reports. Do we have any of those? Sheila Kelly, nice to see you. Good job on the fair.
Thank you. Good morning, commissioners, council, staff, and citizens. I'm Sheila Kelly. I'm the director of the Elbert County Extension Office. And I wanted to be here this morning to toot our own horns, all of us collectively. So we had a tremendous fair, and just, I'm so awed, A-W-E-D, not odd, I am awed too, by the quality of the kids that we have in this county. And I just wanted to share with you some of the state fair results. To be qualified to go to state fair from our county fair, you have to have up 2 blue ribbons. You have to have the first place in the American ranking system. You have to have a blue quality, which means you have over exceeded what the regulations are. We had 77 members qualify with just our general projects. That does not include our specialty contests like cake decorating, creative cooks, performing arts, all of those things, nor our shooting sports, which, by the way, totally took the show at state, our dog or our animal projects. Just in our general projects, though, 77 members qualified, and they sent 129 entries from Elbert County, and that's second only to Larimer County. So I was so pleased with that. And what I really want to share with you is that 86% of those that showed placed in the top 10. So it was really nice to walk through the buildings and see Elbert County, Elbert County, Elbert County. So we were represented very well, and the kids did just awesome. We had 26 first place kids and 25 second place, and then I have the numbers after that. But what's really outstanding that I think is we had 24 individual class champions and 22 reserve champions. And then there are the different classes of intermediate, juniors, and seniors, and they each get a champion in reserve. Then, over the overall class, there's a grand champion and a reserve grand champion. There's like a best of show, if you're familiar with that. We had 6 reserve grand champions and 7 grand champions at the Colorado State Fair from Elbert County. One of those was a senior, and so he was awarded a trip to go on to a national leadership conference called National Congress. The other 6 were either juniors or intermediates. So look what we have coming up behind. So we're so excited about that. Just real quick on the information is all on the website, and there's a lot of shooting sports. We sent like 150 kids. But I wanted to highlight that there's the National Shooting Sports Competition in Grand Island, Nebraska every year. In the 22 pistol, the top 10 did go. Elbert County had 5 out of that top 10. In the air rifle, we had 3. The air pistol, we had 2. And the archery, we had 1. So we have a lot of kids going to national contests in shooting sports. I'm so excited about that. So I just want to thank you all of you, for supporting not only 4-H, but Elbert County Extension, and getting the word out and being supportive of us. And this just shows you the quality of kids that we have in this county. I set a really high standard, and I probably have set that a little too high. But I expect a lot from these kids, and they in turn can expect the same from me, and that's why we're one of the top 4-H programs in the state of Colorado. And I just wanted to remind you too that we have an upcoming Master Food Safety salsa class. It's not the dance class. I kind of wanted them to do that, but they didn't. I didn't want to do that. So they'll be doing a salsa class in September, I think September 10th. I left the flyer over there, I forgot the date, but you're all welcome to that. Those classes have been going really well, about 15 people each time. And I did notice at the Elbert County Fair, in both 4-H and open class, that everyone that took the top prizes were people that were taking this class. So I'm excited about that too. So I'm really here just to toot my horn today, toot all of our horns, and just say, if you see any of these kids, just tell them how great they did. And I appreciate your time. Questions?
Just thanks again for all the hard work you and everyone in your organization does for the fair for these kids. I think it's a terrific program, and we don't get a chance to know them necessarily personally. They seem to pass before our eyes as we don't get any older, but they seem to move along, and it's a great program. And so please convey my appreciation to all the kids and all the leaders too.
I'm having empty nest syndrome because I have been here 10 years now. So that's a whole cycle of 4-H kids. So the ones that were just started graduated this year. So it's a little unnerving that they're all going to be gone. But a new crop comes up. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other elected officials, department heads, or staff reports? Moving on to public comment. Public comment is a time when any citizen may report items of interest or concern. During this time, each individual will have 3 minutes to present views on the county matters. In the interest of time, please have your comments prepared for presentation, as each person will be allowed one opportunity to approach the podium. Please keep your comments to a 3-minute maximum. No formal action will be taken on these items during this time due to open meeting provisions. However, the items may be placed on a future posted agenda if action is required. If you have comments on a regular agenda item, please hold your comments until that item is up for consideration. The public comment portion of the BOCC meeting is not to be used for political or campaign purposes. Comments and questions should be limited to matters of current county affairs and business. When you approach the podium, please identify yourself and spell your last name and give your address. Mr. Whistler?
Good morning, Commissioners. Jim Whistler, let's see, 36123 County Road 17 in Elizabeth, Colorado. Yes, a couple of meetings ago, I asked about the accumulated depreciation, and as I recall, Commissioner Rowland made a comment about the age of the building, and I was concerned about is the depreciation that affects the net assets of this county, which has been dropping over the last couple of years, is that depreciation associated with infrastructure, with roads, with the depreciation of the roads. Are the roads depreciating more than the money we're spending to replace them, basically? So, first I'm going to, as you guys recall, I'm going to refer you to page 18 of the 2015 Elbert County financial statements. And, oh, I'm sorry, being rude. You don't have that document in front of you. I actually have a couple of copies if I may present them to the commissioners and to the audience.
Okay.
Your commission. Page 18, would you please? And I don't have enough for everybody, so find a friend and share. Okay. I'll just give them a moment to find that. Now, if you take a look.
I didn't get them.
Oh, come on. We'll share. Exactly. Really. So,
Oh, I'm sorry. You gave me
We actually got that.
no, it's only one page. It's only one page. And if you take a look at what I circled, right in the middle of that page, I have the word infrastructure and also the increases of $2,782,490 that was spent, that's the increase, on infrastructure for the year 2015. Now, if you drop down about 4 lines, you come across less accumulated depreciation for, again, infrastructure of negative $4,537,235. Now, if you take the difference between the two, we have what we spend on infrastructure, what the infrastructure depreciated. The difference is, and I did the math down there, $1,754,745. That's what is depreciating that we're not able to spend to basically fix and or replace or take care of the depreciation. So, it is my opinion and only my opinion, that sadly, we need to spend an additional $1.7 million just to handle the roads that are currently depreciating. I don't know where this money is coming from. I'm not saying, that we should, raise taxes or anything like that. I'm just pointing out that that's the rate that we're depreciating, that we're not able to fix or mend or replace. Eventually, that number is going to catch up to us, where we're going to show where roads are depreciating to the point, or depreciating to the point where they need to be replaced versus simply mended. Okay, and replacing roads is usually much more expensive. As Ed even mentioned to me, as much as 3 times more expensive than simply fixing the road. So I just want to point that out to you. That's something that, again, as the auditors mentioned, the long-term planning concept, or the long-term planning issue we must address. But it's in the numbers, and it shows that accounting does work. Now, I want to point out one other thing. I have in a square up in the upper right-hand corner there a number that is the balance of the water rights, shown as a positive for our net assets. It's $4,100,445. Now, the question I have to ask the commissioners, and this again is a question you must really bring back to the auditors, is water rights. We're referring to the dollar value that you've assigned to the water rights which you've adjudicated. The county has adjudicated. Fine. Does that number change? Is water rights a commodity? Does it go up? Does it go down? Is it undervalued? Is it overvalued? Because this directly affects your capital assets net. That number in the very, very last column. And so it's just a question we should bring up again. I don't know how people value water rights, but it's something that you should be aware of, and something you should simply ask for your knowledge. That concludes my demonstration. I appreciate your time. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Jim,
Sure.
thank you. It's good information. When you talk about the 1.7 million in capital depreciation, is all of that road?
I asked Ed Amon, what does infrastructure mean? He said, roads. Because you see, buildings and equipment are separate numbers. To take a look at that, we have buildings, equipment, and infrastructure. So it's not referring to the buildings, it's not referring to the equipment, road graders and such. That means roads. Okay? Thank you for your time.
Good morning. My name is Elbert. I reside at 45 900 Deer Trail Road, Deer Trail, Colorado. We do have a Deer Trail mailing address. We are, however, located in Elbert County, off County Road 190. The actual subdivision is Cottonwood Estates of Falcon Ranch. The business that brings me before the board this morning is the building of structures in our subdivision without building permits. This problem started approximately a year ago. I notified building and zoning that a structure was being built, or an addition was being built on a structure. They said, fine, we'll send somebody out when they get in the area to look at it. A year later, they still haven't looked at it. In that time, there are another 3 additional structures that have been built in our subdivision without building permits. On one property, and then another property was just started building another structure without a building permit. I have continually called building and zoning and talked to both Kyle and Faith on this, and have gotten no answers, stonewalled, pushed off, dismissed, and lied to. It's time that we do something else. Obviously, calling building and zoning is not working. I have in front of me here some information I would like to give the commissioners. These are the properties I am referring to. I may approach this. I suppose the biggest thing I'm asking for today is since building and zoning.
Third copy for missing county commissioner today.
I just have, those are actually the three properties. There's one copy, each one
I see.
for each property. You'll notice that under square footage or land usage, it lists absolutely nothing about structures on the property, which means that also they're not paying taxes on the property, which in itself is outrageous. But what I'm here for is asking for oversight from the county board on these three properties and ensuring that it doesn't get swept under the carpet, that building permits are not issued and pencil whipped in order to make this disappear. I think the biggest concern I have is the fact that building and zoning is put in place with building codes to protect the health and welfare of the citizens. If an individual comes in, builds a substandard structure without a permit, turns around and sells that structure, under code it's not what it needs to be, and that structure catches on fire or snow collapses a roof or wind knocks it over and somebody is killed because building and zoning is not doing their job. That is why I'm asking for oversight on this.
Mr. Gingrich, have you and I spoken on the phone?
Yes, we have spoken on the phone. It was actually about 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Since then, I talked with Kyle and got a mishmash of what she was doing, what she had done, and then she asked me not to come to the commission, at which point I pretty much felt that I was being stonewalled again by building and zoning. They wanted to make this go away. They didn't want to have to deal with it.
Okay, well, in all fairness, we've heard your comments, and I think it demands a response. So I'm going to ask Kyle Penner to please address the issues because we've spoken about this. If you take a seat.
G and G.
All right. Are you okay with that?
Yes, please.
To the extent that it's appropriate.
Yes, please.
Yeah, please. Please. If you can have a seat, please.
Good morning, Commissioners. Paula Wilderman, Director of Community and Development Services. I've spoken at great length with Mr. Gingrich. Faith has spoken at great length with Mr. Gingrich. And first of all, I actually invited Mr. Gingrich to this meeting.
Excuse me. We're going to have a word. Please proceed.
So at any rate, we have spent a great deal of time on the phone with Mr. Gingrich. I have spoken to you, Commissioner Ross, about this problem. Code violation letters have been sent, certified mail has been sent. We have followed the protocol that is allowed by our regulation. We have served a red tag. We personally hand delivered a certified letter to the original property that Mr. Gingrich complained about. That person's already been in our office. He acknowledges that he has unpermitted buildings, and we're working on it. It's going to be a retroactive permitting, because right now we have buildings that are out there. We all know Deer Trail, and it's very, very hard to keep your eyeballs on every tract of land out there. I can say I appreciate Mr. Gingrich for turning them in, and we're working to permit the buildings that have been identified that have been built without permits. And these are not stick-built. Most of them are modulars. They're set on foundations or haven't been set on foundations. So these people are aware. We have not heard from two of the people. They're still within their 30-day period, which they are allowed to have. Our regulation in our process has allowed that. So I take great exception to my providing a mishmash, because I don't think that I'm a mishmash communicator. I'm generally pretty clear. What happens often in these cases is when applicants or complainants don't get the answers they want, it's just a process, and unfortunately I have to support the regulation. I can only do so much. He is absolutely correct in that he called approximately a year ago on the first complaint That was when we were working with, I believe, Rich Clausen, and we didn't have any inspections out in the deer trail area, and to pull him off, to send him all the way out there to serve a red tag at that time, was just not doable. Then when we changed, Mr. Gingrich got back in touch with us, and we have not put it down since. So it's going to be a he said, she said. I'm following the process within the regulations and what I can do, and I'm operating as quickly as I can. So, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Do I get a chance to rebut that?
No, it's not a big.
Because I knew that a building inspector was out there and didn't do it.
Okay, we're done. Okay, CDS understands their responsibilities. They're pursuing legal action or legal courses of action according to our zoning laws. I'm sympathetic to the issue of you living there, seeing it happen, and then us having to react after the fact. But the truth is that Kyle and her department are handling the issues, and if, within the timeframes that our regulations allow, if nothing happens, then that's a different story. We have to give the situation a chance to work itself out. Anyone else for public comment? Appreciate it.
Susan Schick, 4122 Down West Ride, Elizabeth. In preparation for this afternoon's budget meeting, the first woefully late budget department meeting, which our CTSI expert told us should have started back in around March or April. We're just now getting to the first department budget review for 2017. It's going to happen this afternoon at 11 o'clock. I hope everybody shows up. I think for those who've been in these meetings for a number of years watching what's going on, we know that the funding for certain departments is woefully inadequate to do a complete job. We know that it's underfunded in CDS. We know that it's underfunded in the assessor's office. I would hope at these budget hearings we're going to see a percentage of our budget allocated by department and what it has looked like over the last 8 to 10 years. One of the reasons we have this kind of problem is that there's nobody in the assessor's office going out doing inspections. It's not happening. We've had ladies in there who are afraid to go out, allegedly because they're afraid of sex offenders, okay? So it's not happening. We all know it's not happening. And one of the reallocations I'd like to see in the budget, perhaps, just a suggestion, is that we eliminate a full-time county attorney and that we eliminate the county manager until we can see better allocation of our funds. It doesn't take rocket scientists to figure out how we need to be allocating our dollars. We've all talked about having a budget oversight committee of citizens. I think it's a great idea. I don't see any action happening on that. But what we're doing in these meetings is not solving our problems. So I would like to see at these upcoming budget hearings an allocation. I'd like to see where my money is going by department as a percentage and as a dollar amount at a minimum. Thank you.
Thank you. Just one comment on that. We are going to have a budget meeting with the CDS department at 11 o'clock today. It wouldn't be fair to characterize it as a hearing. This is a preliminary workshop, and in each department will be presenting theirs, and then in the process of reconciling that back to the available funds will proceed along the course, and ultimately will result in an actual hearing of the budget and adoption of the budget in December. So, yeah, we encourage everybody to watch and participate as they, watch and provide comments at the appropriate time. Anyone else with public comment? Okay. We have no old business today. First item of new business is IGA, intergovernmental agreement between Elbert County and the town of Lyman for cooperative planning within 3-mile radius of the town. Can I have a motion, please?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the IGA between Elbert County and the town of Lyman for cooperative planning within the 3-mile radius of the town.
Second? Discussion.
Yes, sir. This is the second really significant agreement that we've entered into IGA with the municipalities. Significant, I didn't mean to minimize the importance of the other two, but this is, the Elizabeth was our first one, but you are correct. We have entered into this with other municipalities within the county. These are agreements that really speak to the future of those areas and the cooperation and the necessary cooperation between the municipalities and the county. And I think they're very positive, very healthy. There's always some reservations and a little bit of confusion and misunderstanding at times about what they mean. We aren't relegating our authority. We're not giving chunks of Elbert County away to Lyman or to Washington County by any stretch of the imagination. But basically what we're agreeing to for their benefit statutorily to be able to have these agreements that they're required to have in place says that we're going to work together in a cooperative way that's best for the county and best for the area and hopefully spawn some kind of economic development opportunities in the future by doing so. Some of the reservations I had about the first agreement and this one were that it not be that we are bound to relegate any authority or approvals to the town of Lyman. We have not done that. What we've basically said is we will treat them as a referral. Correct me if I'm wrong, Kyle, at any given time. We treat them as a referral and as a partner, if you will, in any opportunities that come our way, and our being both of us. So I've given a lot of scrutiny and had a lot of questions and been given a lot of satisfactory answers, and so I'm certainly in favor of approving this idea.
Okay. The spirit of this agreement is simply to have cooperative dialogue and action between our neighbors. And I think one item in here speaks to a really large concern that a lot of people in my council already read that. It is understood that in a joint review that the county seeks the input of Lyman, but that in no way does the county subrogate its land use authority to Lyman, and that the county shall make final determination on the proposed land use application. So, in other words, we still have entire authority over land use in our county. We're not giving anything away. I believe that over time, it's going to prove to be beneficial and useful to both us in Lyman and Lincoln County, for that matter, in being more proactive and planning for the future. We have a lot of opportunities in that area that are overlooked. Tremendous truck traffic and tourist traffic and so forth, and a lot of revenue passing right through our county without notice. So I appreciate the hard work on this, and I just have, I'm going to amend the motion to accept this agreement, and I'll explain why here. Given the fact that currently the Board of County Commissioners has direct oversight over CDS department, on the 4th page of this agreement, where it indicates who notices are directed to with respect to this agreement and so forth, or any land use applications, that in addition for the Elbert County point of contact, being County Manager at Amon, the Director of CDS also be copied on all notices pursuant to this agreement. So the chair moves to amend the motion to include CDS Director as a secondary point of contact under this agreement. Just as a point of contact.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, any discussion, further discussion on the amended motion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All in favor of the original motion? Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Now, I'm going to go on to the second. Second item of business.
Keep it that.
Is direct county attorney to advise BOCC regarding Pudic coal matter, in particular, the validity and enforceability of agreements of prior boards as per Elbert County zoning regulations and Colorado revised statutes, and to advise whether to engage outside counsel Josh Marks due to the complexities of the issue and work with CDS staff to generate a staff report and legal advisements. Can I have a motion?
The motion is only to direct the county attorney to give us a report and advice without taking an action. There's no action item there, so I'll second the motion on
No,
that
I
premise.
haven't made a motion. I'm asking you. Or shall I make a motion?
Well, we talked about, us needing to make a board action, take a board action and a motion and a vote in order to direct staff and the attorney. So that's what we're doing, so yeah, I think we should make a motion.
Okay.
Or so moved. You just read it.
Okay. Just to make sure, Chair moves that the BOCC direct the county attorney to advise the BOCC regarding the Pudic coal matter, in particular, the validity and enforceability of agreements of prior boards as per Elbert County zoning regulations and Colorado revised statutes, and to advise whether to engage outside counsel Josh Marks due to the complexities of the issue, and work with CDS staff to generate staff report and legal advisements.
Keyword being advised, so I will second that on that premise.
The motion's been made, seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye.
Aye?
Motion passes.
You're approved to advise. I talked about a week, but are you prepared to give us a
brief update.
I would prefer that we wait until Mr. Wilcox is present, so you get up to speed on the issue. And we may have a subsequent work study session based. My preference is that the advisements come directly to the board for our consideration in furtherance of the discussion, and keep that
Would that be done in a public meeting?
No, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Gately, but you can issue a written legal opinion or advisement to the board members.
Right. I just wanted to give you a kind of an update and a discussion of what we've done so far, because yesterday I did meet with CDS Director Kyle Fenner, and Ed Amon, County Manager, also met with the CDS Director regarding this issue. It's rather preliminary. We need some additional information, so we're working on that. My initial thoughts are that a staff report will be prepared and a site visit conducted by CDS, and so we'll know more information. But I will also provide to the commissioners, including Commissioner Wilcox, the actual agreement that is almost 30 years old now. That agreement involves a 10.01 acre parcel, and that was recorded back in September of 1987, so it's almost exactly 29 years ago. So I will I will work on that. We'll work on getting additional information and checking out some additional issues because there's been some allegations made that we need to investigate, and we'll follow through with that.
Yeah, I'm going to emphasize the importance that board members maintain this arm's reach distance from the issue and do any deliberation with regard to within a public meeting, posted meeting. That's why we needed the background and the advisement to consider it, part of our work in progress here, leading to possibly a decision or no decision. But we needed the background. It is rather old. So thank you.
And just for the benefit of those sitting in the audience wondering what the hell we're doing here. It seems a little bureaucratic, but basically the premise is this. There's been some discussion with the board, that we can't act unilaterally as single commissioners. We have to act unilaterally. We have to act together as a board, at least the majority board. So one of the issues that came up, and discussions that came up, was that when we direct staff, county attorney, county manager, other staff, to do things that are, to the pleasure of the board, so to speak, that it has to be done by a vote of the board acting as one. So we voted today, this motion was to tell the attorney to go ahead and take this project on and get the information and the data that we need in order to address this matter. That's what this is today. Seems a little overkill, but that's what we needed to do.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Senator, attorney, land use items on?
Yes, sir.
Okay, attorney board, anything?
Nothing further.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We're adjourned.